Hey guys, we're back for another week, episode 4 of the Cheap Seats. Had a decent week last week. Really appreciate all the views, subscribers. Um, like I said, any type of interaction, we're looking for it. You got something to say? You want to find out, what we're doing, what we're choosing to talk about? You got a topic for us? You want to tell us how bad we suck? I'm okay with it. We can see if we can do worse. So we're going to start off this week. We've kind of been doing the theme each week. We're doing our top 5 lists, and we're doing this week, I guess we can call it the top 5 losers. And I'm saying losers as in like just kind of flat out hate the guy.
Just can't stand him.
Just not a fan of the guy.
It might be a rivalry. It's you can't stand him.
And up until about like 3 minutes ago, my list was set. And then Pratt took his sweater off and literally with that shirt just climbed into my top 5. If people can't see that, that is God. Something else. Good on you though. So yeah.
No, we should let him describe the shirt. We should let him. Where did that picture come from, Jeff?
This is a very tight shirt of a picture of me in a very tight shirt.
Well, move your knuckles,
move your arms so people can see.
We got to see you.
Like, is that a boy? Pratt, is that a boy's small or what?
Look at that! Wow,
that's a boy's small.
That guy in that picture looks like he benches about 110 pounds because he's scared of hernias.
That's me. This was after I won the 2016 Mooseman Oilmans. I had 14 pars. I had 14 pars and 4 bogeys for a 76, which took down the championship. So
those were very dark times for you, Pratsky. So
yeah, 7.2 handicap, folks. 7.2 handicap index.
This is all I got for sports shirts, boys. So this is what we're getting.
All right,
somebody buy this guy a jersey.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give my list first. I'll give the player, reason why, look quick, brief, try and keep it moving. So my 5th, number 5, Aaron Rodgers. Literally, I cannot stand the guy. His attitude.
That's out of left field.
I'm not taking anything away from his talent. Whoa. I hate the guy. His attitude sucks. He's very on the field, his hands on hips when someone runs the wrong route. He's just so full of himself. I'm sorry. That's number 5 for me. That's where I'm going to leave that one.
You're just
Brady's never put his hands on his hips when someone ran the wrong route.
This is my list. You can talk about Brady all you want when you get to him. Number 4, Barry Bonds. Captain cheats a lot.
Cheats.
Oh, cheats.
Cheats.
I would throw him into the same group of, people that I dislike. Jason Giambi, Marion Jones, all steroid users. But the difference between them two is that Giambi and Marion Jones actually admitted they did steroids, and yet we're with the same company. So that's kind of why he's a piece of shit. So 3rd, Terrell Owens. No, Pratt, you can get to your list.
Oh, he's keeping them in line, boys. Okay, roll it out. Let's hear it. Go ahead.
Number 3, Terrell Owens. I could list multiple reasons why, mainly for the Dallas Star incident.
That wasn't that bad.
When he went to the Star?
But mostly because you went on national TV wearing shades and shed a tear over people picking on Tony Romo. That might be your quarterback. That might be my quarterback, but you look like a bitch.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. My 2nd, Marty McSorley. Oh.
Wow. Pardon?
What? There's a story.
Wait a minute. We said today we weren't going to talk about the Kings. Hold on. Now you're throwing a king under the bus.
Well, there's multiple reasons. The Brashear incident is one. That's one. 2, and the main reason I hate the guy. I'm going to paint this picture for you. I'm 11 years old, okay? Just coming into my prime, Hairs are sprouting on the hairs
Prime
are
of what?
You hit
hairs are
your prime
sprouting.
early.
You know,
Prime.
spring is blooming. Playoff time. Girls are looking good. Kings are in the cup final. Gretzky's about to win a cup.
And you're 11.
And it's 1-0 LA. In Montreal, game 2, 2-1 LA with under 3 minutes to go in the game. I don't give a shit if you're Luc Robitaille, one of the greatest scorers in the game. What are you doing on the ice with a illegal stick in that situation? You're not a scorer, Marty, so were you going to boomerang somebody with it? Because it makes no sense. You got called for the infraction. Desjardins ties it with 2 minutes left and then wins it in overtime. So that little moment in history took the Kings from going 2-0 back to LA with the lead in the series to 1-1, and the momentum completely switched, and Montreal won 3 straight. Hate the guy, will never forgive him for it. Douchebag.
Fair enough.
Number
Fair
one.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I give you credit on that one for
I
you.
like it. No,
Yeah,
like
I do too. I love calling out a player on your own team. Wow.
Oof.
Go ahead.
And number one. This little rat-faced gremlin, he is the bane of my existence. I know he's Boomer's boy. Drives me up a wall. Matthew Tkachuk, you can literally jump off a cliff for all I care. You are the cheapest player in all of hockey. And that's saying something, because Brad Marchand licks players. Licks them. Tkachuk, you couldn't fight your own battle if you tried.
I think he has.
Yes, he
I think he has.
See, I remember an incident last year. Actually, no, it was maybe this year. I can't remember, but I know the incident when he tried to go low on Doughty, couldn't do it. Doughty cross-checked him. Then he got up, grabbed Doughty's leg, pulled him to the ice, and he had to get big boy Giordano come flying in to tackle him because he's too much of a little bitch to deal with it on his own. You want to play the big man game, stand up, drop the gloves, let's get it on.
Okay,
That's
if
all I
you
got.
really
Mike
think
Doughty.
that Matthew Tkachuk's scared of fighting Drew Doughty, you're high.
You're
high.
I
You're
would.
crazy.
If
Matthew
I'm
Tkachuk
Matthew
would
Tkachuk,
murder Drew Doughty. It's not
Matthew
even
Tkachuk
funny. It wouldn't
can't
even be
beat
a
his
fair
way out of a
fight.
wet paper bag.
Oh,
He'd kill
man.
Doughty.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we're hopefully going to see at some point, and when they do drop the gloves, I got
Hang
20 on Doughty.
Hang on. I just got to show you something here, Lane. You're gonna like this.
Here we go.
This is my friend Matthew Tkachuk. He's a great guy. Great, good-looking player. You know, he gets points. He gets penalty minutes. He is an annoying pest, and I'd probably hate him if he was on any other team. But at the same time, the guy plays a game that you cannot really say if he was on your team, you'd be mad about it. You can call him a rat. He is a rat. He's a rat. I'll admit he's a rat. But he ain't going to lose a fight to Drew Doughty. And
I will tell you this.
Drew Doughty.
I will compare him to another player that I literally despise. Less talented offensively, but the same mentality, Sean Avery.
I don't even think they're in the same category, but okay.
Pest. Anyway,
Sean
okay.
Muir is talented.
There's my 5. I got that
Not
off
even
my chest. Feel free to give me your list. I'm sure I will disagree as well. On to
That's
Wilson.
fine.
How
I
about
know there's no Kings on my list because they don't bother me that much.
Because they suck.
Wallace came out
Settle
green
down,
there.
Ovi. Settle down. Wilson, you're up.
All right, Dustin, let's go.
Okay,
Nice
mine.
jersey in the background.
Oh yeah.
What did I mention? I hate Clay Matthews too.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't. You're just trying to stir the pot here.
No, I literally hate Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, but anyway, continue. You know I do.
Well, I mean, if you would have went after Favre, I would have had issues. But I understand the Rodgers thing.
Well, he wears Wranglers, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, number 5 is he's came up in the pod before. Draymond Green. Can't stand him. Although I like how his size, he can guard pretty much all 5 positions on the court. I just can't stand how every single play he's in the ref's ear, he's in somebody's ear. And then he was super cocky when they were winning championship. He's just not very good. So he rode the coattails of him, acted like he was he was kind of a major part of that, and I really don't think he was. And I mean, he's a role player, and I know those guys have a part in winning.
Who did he kick in the balls? Steven Adams? Was it Steven Adams?
Yeah, they had an exchange. Yeah, and like deliberately.
Oh,
like,
no, I know.
It was
that wasn't accidental. That was great aim.
That was
He was right on the mark.
Kick. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Number 4, not even an athlete or a player, I guess. Pete Carroll. This is actually why I like Wallace's McSorley pick, is because I think these need to have the personal side to them, like they've burnt you pretty bad, whether they're on your team, against your team. And the Seahawks have definitely had the Packers number. The part that bothers me the most is I've seen, and not even the Packers, like I've seen the Seahawks win a lot of tight games, and I hate how Carroll comes in after and he like makes it seem like it was almost part of the game plan, and these guys, and it's just like, it was like one lucky play that at the end of the game that won it. And at the end of the day, it's still, they won the game. I'm not taking that. It's just, I just can't stand how he chomps on the gum on the sidelines. And I don't know. He just bugs me.
Can I tell you my most
I can say this. He makes great calls from the 1 yard line in Super Bowls. I know that.
Can I tell you my least favorite thing about Pete Carroll? I don't know if he's 44 or 78 years old.
Like, that's part about him.
He's the oldest coach in the league.
Is he, Jeff?
I believe I heard that. Yeah.
Okay, so then he's
close,
84. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. That answers my question. Perfect.
Think of Marv Levy when he was he looked like he was like 105, and now Carroll's looking like he's, like you said, 48.
He chews his gum into a fine powder. Did you know that? Like, by the time he uses the same 2 pieces of gum the whole game. I'm not even kidding you. I actually.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the whole season. I was going to clap. Very slow and awesome. That would have been beautiful.
Sticks it on his desk week to week. Yeah, no, it's good.
Hey, I'll pick her up here to get through this list. Number 3, no real personal reason other than I just can't stand him. Mainly from one moment when he lost a big game, Cam Newton, when he lost to the Broncos.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
He was always super confident and everything like that, and then they lose, and he couldn't even stand in front of the media. I just thought his poor sportsmanship, such a bad loser, and now it's proving he's not even he isn't signed yet, I don't think.
I guess the question is, I got this one for you. Is it the reason Cam Newton hasn't been signed by a team yet? Is it A, he's a distraction with the media, with his attitude? Is it B, because he didn't dive for the ball in the big game when it was on the line? Or C, is he just not that good?
I think it's
overrated.
I think it's because he's not that good. I think it's because he's not an accurate enough passer to do what you need to do in the NFL.
But I mean, the guy has literally been a beast in like he was great.
Here's the answer. He unfortunately got that shoulder injury, and it's done what Boomer said. It blew his accuracy out the water. And it forced him to not take those hits that he normally would have taken when he was passing for 4,000 yards and stuff like that. I kind of feel for the guy a little bit, in a sense where he's got an injury in the NFL that he's not recovering from.
Had he stayed healthy, comparable to Russell Wilson, or not even in the same category?
Better, I think.
You know.
Like, if he can maintain what he was in those first 4 years, I think they've got a legitimate, like, the guy's what, 6'5"?
He's a beast, and can
based
run.
On his rushing yards gained alone. Yeah. I'm sorry, but he would have been an absolute force. Yeah. But he isn't there anymore. He's not that guy anymore.
And if anybody wants a really good laugh, go on Google after and look up some of his outfits that he wore to media pressers. It's awesome.
I've seen. Yeah, my dad.
Number 2, and I don't need to explain this one. We got a repeat offender here, Bonds. Not only that, I'll even remove the fact that he did steroids. Pratt, cue your little allegedly, it never been proven.
Yeah, it never happened.
If you give me a 4 for 10 minutes, I'll go to town.
He was
How about
such a
next
tool.
episode, Jeff?
He was
Next
such
episode.
a tool, and self-admittedly a tool to the media. And I don't know. He is just, I couldn't stand him.
He was a horrible teammate. And that came from like Kent, guys that played with him, man. Like horrible.
Kent's a
teammate.
jackass.
Well,
Kent is
Kent
a
is a
jackass
loser,
too,
too.
though. I'm not
But-
going to argue Bonds. If someone says Bonds is there, I can actually live with that.
He
But-
will admit it. He'll
Yeah, I
admit it.
think so. Yeah.
But okay, number one, and this actually surprised me because this was tougher than I thought it was. It goes into he's a greasy rat, just like Wallace's number one was, but Brad Marchand.
I knew it. That's
Like,
great.
more I thought about it, I just am like, I cannot stand it. Like,
Yeah.
It was like all five of those guys probably even took a swing at number one for me throughout the last week or whenever we were talking about this. But that guy, he just when you thought he couldn't take that shovel and dig a little deeper, the guy just the one next move, whether it's a slew foot, and then there's certain things that he'd be like trying to say that he's gonna clean it up, and then like the next game almost, just keep digging. Then
Does anybody remember when and I love it, I've seen it so many times against Montreal, when he picked up the puck in his own zone and he gained speed and started dangling through the mid ice, crossed the blue line, and Subban just rung his bell like he didn't know where he was, and
He tattooed him. It was beautiful.
I've never seen a more dazed rat in my days. It was great. Jeff, you're up, buddy.
Okay. Mine are pretty close to all hockey almost. I'm going to start
Sidney
number 5. Number 5 might be a surprise, but Dale Hunter.
Oh, I could see that.
You just jogged my memory for another one I got to give at the end. Yeah. Well done.
Well, not much to say about Dale Hunter, other than he's a piece of shit, dirty, all that.
Hit.
No, Pierre Turgeon hit.
Sorry.
Oh, right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I hate a lot of guys equally, but then you add that to the mix. Just Google it.
Yeah.
It's maybe the dirtiest play in all of hockey, honestly. It's maybe not the most. Well, he actually broke his shoulder. He broke the guy's shoulder when he did it. So
well after the play. Had scored, play done.
And I won't discount the fact that he came and coached the Caps and tried to make them a defensive team, and he pissed them away for 2 years. That was stupid. And he made Ovi score like 38 goals when he coached them. Anyways, number 4. How has this not been said yet? LeBron James.
Because he's one of the best.
You can't.
Piece of shit. Like, where do you even start with him? I don't need to. I don't think. I mean,
He is the
Bonds isn't a good
greatest.
team. This guy takes the cake.
What's that?
He takes the cake on being a bad teammate. He makes Bonds look like
Why?
something. He tries to get his players traded. Like,
Wilson, I'll agree with him on this. When he pulled that act with J.R. Smith in the finals, when he did the whole.
that's another example.
Well,
a team but a team leader doesn't do that in a championship game, right? Like, yeah, you know he messed up, but you just kind of
I would love to see your reaction if a player pulled down the rebound in the offensive in the key and dribbled out to the 3-point line.
Wilson, I would be the water boy on the bench filling up the jug. Okay,
I don't even care if it's in the NBA championship. That could be in the second quarter, and you would be losing it. But here's the thing, just on LeBron. On the teammate thing, the guy is one of the greatest all-around players. Like, when it comes to passing and comes to like using his teammates, that's the one argument that he can go up against with Jordan, is he actually uses his team to win championships. I actually thought he was going to be on the list. Definitely not on mine, but I mean, he is not.
I think there's a whole list. Like, he wins the championship, and I think they counted in his interview after he won the championship. He didn't say "we" once. He said "I" the entire time. And they actually posted it up against Jonathan Toews because they won the same year. And it was like 16 times Toews said "we," 17 times LeBron James said "I."
Wow.
He's just an awful human as far as teammate loyalty. teammate loyalty goes, that whole Miami Heat crap that booked a primetime spot on ABC or CBS to announce what team he's going to go to. How arrogant. So,
yeah.
Just a few reasons why I don't like LeBron. Number 3.
I could go all day with this. Chalk this up for next week.
I'm
Yeah,
chalking
next-
these up
yeah,
for
next-
all
make a
future
note.
debates.
Make a note next week, Lane. We have
I got it. I got it. Okay.
Go ahead,
Number
Jeff.
3 is a 2-man answer. Sid and Gino Malkin.
Probably
It's
all
for
the
personal
likable
reasons, so I
guys.
accept it. Go ahead.
I actually hate Malkin more. I don't like. I'm not going to
But
go
he's
into detail.
Russian. You love Russians.
Yeah, but
You love Russians.
he's
What's
a
going
Russian.
on?
He's a Russian that hasn't embraced Western culture. Learn the language. Like,
Da.
Duh.
so I don't like Sid. Sid's actually kind of grown on me. Like, he's done some stuff outside of the box, right? It's Spitting Chicklets. They do the sandbagger, all that
You
sort of
know
stuff.
what? You know what? When he did that, I feel like you kind of had to open up and be like, yeah, he's not that shitty, right? So I hear you.
But I have to have him on my list. I'm a
He
Caps
does
fan.
whine a lot on the ice, though, guys. You ain't taking
Absolutely.
that. You ain't taking that from him.
Yeah, so does Dowdy, so shut up.
Oh,
Everyone's
well, yeah. Well, at least we're not slew-footing people like a Chuck. Anyway, keep going.
Kachuk doesn't sloop, but that was Marchand. Anyway, sorry, Jeff. Go on.
He just grabs Doughty's ankles. Anyway.
fucking.
Cool. We could have some good debates next episode.
Oh God. On
Number
the
2,
list,
I don't need to
Boomer.
go into detail. Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory. Yeah.
I would love him on my team. Everyone says, "Oh, you'd love him on your team." Of course I would. But I got
Right?
Tom Wilson.
Right, Wallace? Right?
Not that.
You don't like Boomer. You don't got to tell me. I had Sean Avery. I know what it's about. I get
Yeah.
it. I
You
just
have
don't
to
like
love
him.
you have to embrace the rats in this league. You have
Just
to.
hang on, though. It's Kachuk is way different. That you can say that about certain guys, but then there's guys that bring stupid drama that just it's repetitive. There's moments where that player that he is, absolutely like the hockey player, comes down to some of the consistent stuff. It gets old defending that.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Sure. But you're also a Flames fan, and you can't say that you don't like the way Kachuk plays. Never in a million years.
I love Kachuk.
So, yeah, you should. You should. And so should
even trying to
anybody
be
that can
unbiased.
realize that, hey, somebody outside their organization, I still want him. I still would like him playing for us.
Hey,
And I think Lane would do that, but he doesn't want to right now.
I didn't say I wouldn't take him on my team. I said he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a 70-point player a year, so yeah, you should want him.
this
let's
should
not
sum
get
it
this
up here.
Couple good years doesn't make it good.
I hate the Flames and I hate the Bruins. I love Kachuk. I hate Marchand. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
That holds
Thank
some
you,
water,
Jeff.
I think.
That's the point. Is I think Marchand crosses a line there, and Kachuk toes it.
Okay, but for the record, we all know why I feel the way I feel about this, right?
Yeah.
Like, we understand the fact that there's history with Doughty and Kachuk, right?
We get it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, of course, Lane.
I didn't say I'm like sending the guy bags of dog shit in the mail. I'm just saying there's a
I
reason
have in
why.
the past.
I've tried. It got sent back. It
Okay.
got sent back.
Okay.
Pratt,
Number 1. So my boss is a hard Boston Bruins fan. I don't have a job after this podcast. This is not a player or even an athlete, but just a human piece of garbage.
Where is he?
Jack Edwards.
You
Do you
went
know Jack
deep.
Edwards?
You went deep.
He's the
I
Bruin
hate
Boston
Jack-
Bruins play-by-play announcer. Oh my god!
I hate Jack Edwards more than any person
Holy.
maybe in the world outside of anything criminal that people have done. He is the biggest homer. He's stupid. He actually doesn't know the game of hockey. It would be like, I don't know how to explain. Like, when he says the score is, he doesn't say 4-0. He says 4-0. And you're a NESN play-by-play guy. Oh, he's painful. You got to listen to him.
Better than
You know,
zero.
I honestly have to cut you off here, Jeff, because a big part of me is right in line with what you say. He's not going to make a top 5 list of mine, but holy fuck, like there are people that I know personally that could do a better job. I feel, and I'm not kidding. I feel like Jack Edwards is dog shit. You're 100% right there. He's terrible.
He's somewhat, impartial at times, right? He can't. Actually, the only guy he actually backs favors is Ovechkin, which is kind of funny. But he's so any fight the Bruins have, the other guy loses no matter what happens. You get one.
He's awful.
You get one punch.
He's awful. You're right. Yeah. He's awful.
So
good for you, Pratt. That's
that's a doozy. Boomer, what do you got?
Boomer McFarland.
Yeah, Boomer McFarland. Yeah.
Ouch. Actually, in reality, he almost made my list. He was right fucking there.
Well,
He was right fucking there because that guy almost ruined Monday Night Football for everyone.
I didn't mind him.
Well, fuck you. Anyway, so I'm going to start out. I'll start out with my honorable mention, and that was obviously Barry Bonds. And the reason that it was Barry Bonds is because he took Hank Aaron's record with some assistance. With some assistance, but yeah. So that's Barry Bonds. My number 5, and this might make Wilson really happy, is Draymond Green. I was absolutely disgusted by the way that he acted during last year's playoffs, and it just to dig into this guy, and I started to look at some things, and I cannot believe that this guy actually told a reporter at one time that he is the best defender of all time. That made me sick. It made me want to throw up. This is another thing that's going to play to Wilson a little bit. I went on YouTube earlier and I was checking out some things, some Draymond Green stuff. He's actually, like, that gets portrayed where he says that he's one of the best defenders in the past and of all time, sorry, not just the past. And Scottie Pippen's sitting there. And they're like, Scottie, what do you think? And Scottie's like, well, no. Like, no. He's like, Draymond Green is a decent player. He's a good team defender. He's a good role player. He is not a good one-on-one player. And he flat out said they played LeBron James. Was Draymond Green on him? Nope. How can you call yourself the best defender when you're not guarding their best player?
Here's the weird part, though, and I hate defending the guy. The guy, he's 6'6", and he guards centers. Like, he'll literally guard all 5 positions.
Well, yeah,
that's
but
what he said.
If I kick you in the nuts, you're not going to want to go in the paint either, right? Like, I mean.
Well, I think he said that right after he won Defensive Player of the Year, and that's the thing. The guy rides on that high horse and puts himself on a pedestal, and it's so annoying. And I'm with you, Boomer. He's not that good, but
he whines more between plays than Sidney Crosby ever will, Jeff. Like, hands down. It's not even close. He's chirping at the ref every single play. And that gets fucking old. That's terrible. That's a joke. I have no use for him.
He is like, he takes a technical foul and it's like a notch on his belt.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, yeah, got another one.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. And I'm not even the world's biggest basketball fan. I'll never claim to be, but watching Draymond Green was, oh God, it's painful. It was painful.
What was it? Fuck the NBA?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep. That's what it was.
Not a big NBA.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so number 4 is going to be Carlos Gomez. For obvious reasons, I'm a giant Braves fan, and in reality, it doesn't matter. He's done some stuff to other teams that have kind of made me question his legitimacy and everything that he does. For a guy that's only ever scored 73 RBIs was his best season, and I think he's a career 252 batting average player. For him to do that and act the way that he does, come on, man, grow up. You're garbage. Get out of here.
Are you referring to the bat flip homer?
That who? Gomez?
Yeah.
No, I'm referring to the fact, not even the bat flip. I'm referring to when he got around the bases and met Brian McCann halfway down the third baseline.
That was great.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
No.
That was bullshit.
There was some backdrop into that, though. There was some shit being talked long before that at bat. Like, that wasn't just Carlos Gomez doing that to be Carlos Gomez. The Braves were doing some chirping too. I mean, it's great video. If anybody wants to go check that out,
you know what? you know what? Hey, how about this? You listen to anything that any other player has ever said about Freddie Freeman. Carlos Gomez, every time he hits for first base, chirps Freddie. Really? You're going to chirp Freddie Freeman? He's like the nicest guy in the fucking major leagues. That's where you're going. I'm actually wearing his jersey right now just to cement that point. But anyway, I'm going to move on. My third place guy, and this might strike you guys as a little bit of a shock here, but Antonio Brown. Basically,
Wow. Yeah,
basically because of it's hard for me to even explain. You can honestly, Wilson, do you think that I was ever his biggest fan? Even when he was playing, like, I liked when he scored touchdowns, but I was never ever a super huge Antonio Brown fan. I always
you had a love on for two-tap Tony.
You bragged about having the best running back and best wide receiver.
Yeah.
No, and you know what? Talent-wise, we probably had that, but I never ever said that I love the guy. I never ever in a million years said this guy is one of the coolest individuals. He isn't. He's kind of a knob. And now that it's come out, what he did in the NFL and what he's done now, jumping from team to team and how he did it. And now, and I know we weren't going to bring up the legal implications, but the domestic violence stuff, I have no use for Antonio Brown, and it sucks. My problem with him.
We'll take him. We will take him.
Yeah, I bet you will. No, but
I heard he really loves like private yoga instruction too. He's really into that.
Oh yeah, I heard he turns into the Sears Tower. But in reality, I can't get on board with him being a fan of his. I always knew there was something a little bit different, and now to hear that Tomlin had kind of different rules for the wide receivers, it makes a lot of sense. The way you give Miles, and he took it. Holy fuck, did he take it?
Good cliche there. Oh,
yeah.
My number
Next week,
two.
top 5 cliches. Book it.
My number two. This one, my top two I wrestled with for quite a while. Number 2 is Alexander Burrows. I absolutely hated watching this fucking guy when he played for the Canucks. You want to talk about a guy that Wallace, perfect example.
I hated him.
And you said you want to play the big boys game. You go and we're talking about the master of stick work. This guy was like Dr. Hook, in Slapshot. This guy, stick work of all kinds. He's spearing guys. He's slashing guys. He's two-handing people, and he is not fighting anyone. Like I can't even count the number of times that Jerome McGinley was like, "Let's fucking go," and he's like, just skates away. Like, come on, man. If you're going to be who you are and you're going to be that guy and you're going to play the way you do, let's go. Answer the bell just once. Like, I might get my ass kicked by him, but if I saw him on the street, I'd probably still fight him because I hate that fucking guy. He bit
a guy's finger one time. Did you even talk about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Do I have to? Thank you for bringing that to the table.
No,
That's excellent.
We got the point. Number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Number one is Daniel Carcillo. And the reason that I hate Dan Carcillo so much is the guy exited hockey, tried to become this giant social media force, and essentially right off the bat blocked everybody that ever disagreed with him. This is the guy that went onto social media and said that fighting needs to be taken away from the hockey. It needs to be, outlawed. There needs to be a harsher punishment for guys that actually fight. Hold on a second. You're telling me that the guy who made his fucking money in the NHL fighting people now wants hockey outlawed? Daniel, you would have no fucking chance in any upper league in the hockey if you actually got that outlawed. He is an absolute piece of garbage. I was one of the guys that got blocked with him in the early going.
That was my question.
I mean, it is what it is. You know who the first guy was that got blocked by him in Estevan, I think? Kyle Garrigan.
Yeah.
And and the chirping going back between those two before he got blocked was beautiful. It was excellent. Shout out to Kyle Garrigan for giving him shit every chance he got. But in reality, Daniel Carcillo, you're a fucking hypocrite. I cannot take that. You're on my list. You're my number one.
Touche.
Wow.
I got Wow.
We need a swear jar, boys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We can buy some merch with it.
I got an honorable mention. Has to be on the list. I can't believe he didn't actually, and it jogged my memory with Dale Hunter. Claude Lemieux.
Yeah.
I like Claude.
But for that hit on Draper,
I don't like that. That sucks,
Draper got just, that was, not a fan. And also honorable mention to Deron Carter, who I really hope this gets out to. You piece of dog shit that you and me went at it for a whole afternoon on Twitter. And I ended up getting, like, some chick in Regina lost it on me trying to defend you. She must have been some huge fan. And literally, we went back and forth. And if people really want to go see it, it was quite comical. You can check out my Twitter. I pretty much called him like his dad must be the most disappointed father in the world, and it got personal. So,
Really, Lane? You took it personal.
yeah, shocker, right? Shocker.
Lane, I thought you were gonna. Brock Lesnar didn't crack your list.
Oh, I wrestled with it. No pun intended. I wrestled with it for. I got to tell the story now. I have to. Brock Lesnar, you douchebag. I can't believe you did me like this. So I forget. It might have been Josh. It might have been Josh Freeze. Love Josh Freeze, by the way. He might have texted me and told me.
It was me.
Brock,
It was me. It was me. Yeah, it was me.
That Brock Lesnar was at the Icon rink in Eston. I'm like,
yep.
Well,
the old Blue Goose. Yep.
I should go and try and get an autograph or go and try and meet.
You were like 14, weren't you?
No, this was 2 years ago. So anyway, went there, just pumped. There he was with Sable, nonetheless. Like, for those of you that watched WWE back in the day, we all know who Sable is. We know. Not looking so Sable-ish though. Like she's seen some weather. Like
wow. Come on.
She's old,
well,
man.
I mean,
what would she be? She's old.
Sable. Sable?
Yeah.
Oh, she's 5'0" for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's got to be fit. Right in
back to the Brock story.
Right in
Let's not even get this started. Okay. Anyway, so I see him. He's with his kid. Totally get it. You don't bother an athlete when he's with his kid. So he leaves the locker room, takes off, goes outside. I'm like, well, shit. I better have a set of balls and at least try or say something or, hey, what's up or whatever. Went out, asked the guy for like a picture or even just like autograph, nothing. Dude shut me down I thought he was going to give me an F5. Thought it was coming. I thought he was going to UFC me. And, Brock, I really didn't think you were going to do that to me, but you looked at me with that look, and I thought I was dead. So, really, I should have had you on my list, but for fear of you seeing this and maybe coming and kicking my ass, I left you off. So, we'll leave it at that. Good job, boys. Really love the lists. That was, wow, that's some good quality stuff right there. Right on, guys. Okay, so now we're going to move into, after that awesome segment, the NHL format that was announced a couple days ago for the playoffs. I mean, I'll give a brief rundown in case everyone's living under a rock, because I mean, it's pretty much the only thing that anybody is broadcasting right now. So, 20 teams. Sorry, 24 teams.
Good start.
Hey, I caught it, Boomer. I caught it. 24 teams, top 4 in each conference, play a round robin between themselves for seeding for the top 4 seeds. And then 5 plays 12, 6 plays 11, so on and so on. Whittles down to 8 in each conference. Apparently, from what Bettman said, first 2 rounds, best of 5. Then undecided, yeah, but they're leaning best of 5s, yeah, and then best of 7s for the rest of the way. The hub cities that were listed, there's going to be 2. My opinion, I think that the front runner, I mean, I'm biased again because I mean, I don't see how they can screw the Kings a 3rd time here. It's gonna one of the hub cities is going to be LA. It's not.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vegas.
No.
Yeah.
Vegas,
$20.
LA's got the ability to put on a.
$25.
I love this live betting online, you guys. This has been spectacular.
It won't be LA.
Double or nothing on the Mickelson bet.
Okay, but what's the stipulations? It either has to be LA or it has to be Vegas.
Yep.
Vegas or
If
LA.
If it's nothing, it's a wash.
Okay, you're on. Double or nothing. Okay. God, my wife better not see this.
Jeff,
So
I'm going to sit this bet out.
the reason I feel it's going to be LA, the Kings aren't going to get anything for market or playoff TV rights or anything because they're not in it. We're not even. I'm not. I refused. I vented on this already. They got absolutely shut. Pratt, don't wipe.
Why
that
are we
out.
talking about the Kings? Why are we
I
talking
can't
about
believe this is happening.
They're
Right
25th ranked. We don't care about them. No one
2
cares
minutes
about
in.
them.
And I said, listen to me. I said I am okay with my team not being in it. But the fact that Montreal,
Oh, no.
Chicago, all those other teams still get a crack at that top pick absolutely sticks in my craw. You can't be allowed to play in the playoffs and still have a chance at the lottery pick. You can't.
Okay, can I comment on this then?
Go, please, go.
When I was looking at the standings, to me, and I think if everyone took a look at them, they would agree. The only team that I believe got screwed, and the only team that I believe got lucky, was the Sabres got screwed, and
Yep.
the Canadiens got lucky.
Yep.
Every other team, including the Blackhawks, had a chance to make it and shouldn't have been written off. So the reason why the Canadiens got in was because the Blackhawks were in that range and they had to even it out. And I mean, you're stuck with the best option that you can have at that point. They had to draw the line somewhere. So the only real kind of downer about it is the fact that the Canadiens really shouldn't have got in, and the Sabres really probably with 2 games in hand should have had a better chance at getting into that last spot, which is at this point.
Yep.
In other sports, the NFL, you see 500 teams make it into the playoffs all the time. Like that, subpar teams squeak in every now and again. We'll deal with it for this year. For the whole format that itself and stuff, there's still a lot of grayness. The one thing that I heard the other day was, is this play-in round part of the playoffs? And that's what it's a good question, because there's all these stipulations on picks and stuff like that have if a team makes the playoffs, that conditional pick is now this. And that's the one thing Bettman didn't do, is he never clarified if this was playoffs. It is kind of weird in that sense, where what is this round and what does it entail? Is it, because it's not regular season, we all know that. And then once again, there's just the grayness of, are they going seeding after, or are they going 8 versus 9 plays 1, 5 versus 12 plays 4?
I thought they were doing the bracket.
No, they don't know yet.
No,
But I
It's
hope
up in
they
the air,
seed.
that's the thing.
If they seed, they should seed. I mean, that's. But
There's
other
some
thing-
benefits to this though, and I know, Pratt, you're not going to agree with this. I like seeing some of those matchups. There are going to be some good matchups there. Chicago, Edmonton, ooh, that has got just beautiful series written all over it. I honestly, I think Florida would play the Islanders, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really good series. Toronto, Columbus, ooh, I like. There's some games with some juice there, and I like the fact that they're going to mean something, and they're going to be battles, right? What I'm worried about is just the atmosphere. You're not having the fans. You're not playing off momentum. Is it going to be a little bit awkward and weird for them? We'll see, right? But the rumor is these players are going to be somewhat mic'd up. We're going to get some trash talking throughout the games, which hopefully that adds something to it. Hopefully they mic up Matthew Tkachuk. That'll be great. And
he doesn't talk much. He lets his play in his bodies.
Oh my God! Where's my barf bucket?
Hey, I want to hear Pratt's or Boomer's take on that.
Well, I want to chime in on one thing. Lane made a comment. I could be wrong here. You're talking about the Hawks or the Canadians. You're being upset they got a shot at the first round, or the first round pick.
The first overall pick.
Yeah, I believe how Bettman worded it. If you lose in that play-in round, you have a shot.
There's 2 phases to that draft lottery.
Yeah, and I didn't quite understand it. I don't really know if we want to
2
get
phases.
into
I can clarify this for the next episode, but the way I understand it is they'll do the first phase, and if any team that wasn't in the top 7 pulls that spot, it has to go to phase 2 where they'll redraw.
I think you're right.
If every team that's in the top 7 gets the first, second, and third lottery picks, then it stays as is and they move forward.
Yeah.
That's the way I understood it. But
well, and here's what I heard a good explanation of why they did it this way is they did it so that like the teams that normally wouldn't have made the playoffs, like that the 8 teams that are there from 24 to 16 still have the same shot that they would have normally had if the season would have played on. So they didn't want to penalize these
and I
teams.
get that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
For having this awkward play-in round on missing out on having their chance to get a first, because we all know how important that is. Hearing that explanation, I mean, I look at this and I really try to find a negative, and I don't find it. Like I think I like the fact that what would have worried me is having almost like some of these like go from 0 to 100 right away, where it's like not 8 versus 1, but let's just say they did cut it off at 16 and it was just NHL playoffs right off the bat. I like the fact that the first 4 teams get to do some of these, just the round robin, and earn that spot to sort of ease into the playoffs here. And what will be interesting is the dynamic in those games compared to the dynamic in the elimination series.
I hate those games.
Well,
I do too. I do
But
too.
you
I
have,
hate
those
them.
teams have to stay fresh. They have to play. You can't just
I
let
know.
them sit there, right? Like,
Yeah,
there's no other ways about it.
it's no different than having the playoffs, your first place clinched with 3 weeks left and you play in. Like the games don't mean anything, and now you're going to be playing the next round against someone who just played a best of 5.
Yeah.
Disadvantage for the favored teams. I wish there was some way they could do it differently, but they can't.
well,
Those
but you know
games
what they're
in the
gonna be
round robin
doing?
are going to have no juice to them. They're not going to risk getting injured. They're not going to
No.
risk any. You know what I mean? Like they're just
Exactly.
going to go out there and skate.
Exactly.
Wherever they land in the seedings is what it is,
That,
right?
but remember, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. They're doing it in 2 hub cities, so these games, there's going to be like 3 games a day.
So, Will, I was going to say this.
Those shitty games that you just talked about, there could be at like 2:00 in the afternoon, which is good because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool to have some day games, and they're the not important games, and I like that part. I'm okay with, and I actually like it.
The way I read an article was that it's going to be like from. Well, I recently, I think it was today, I saw July 14th is the earliest they'll report to training camp. Is that correct? I saw that a couple hours ago.
It's beginning of July.
July 14th, I think, was the date I saw today, which means it's going to be August, September, October, and we're going to have games all day long. Like they're going to start at like 10 in the morning, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, right? And
they won't be 10 though, because they're going to have I bet it's 2 West Coast hubs, and they're going to have to appeal to the East Coast teams, the Torontos, the Montreals, the New Yorks. So they're going to, I bet the latest game is 8 o'clock.
Well, the Western Conference will play in, I think, either Vegas or LA. And I can see the Eastern Conference playing in either Columbus or Chicago.
Maybe. One thing I was going to bring up, because I thought, as I was picturing like one game goes into overtime, and I'm thinking the other guys, the game after, like they're waiting in the tunnel with their sticks, right? Like, hey, it's our game next. Because in the playoffs, we see double or triple OT, right? So why not this is just my pitch, try 4-on-4 overtime this year. I think it's a good idea. You're not going to have double OT with 4-on-4.
Yeah.
I think they're
You
trying
know,
to keep I get what I agree with it. I think they're just trying to keep some semblance of purity to it, right? Like,
Yeah,
I
but
know
that's
we're already
thrown out
past
the window.
that point, so yeah,
That's out the window. 4-on-4.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
you
Like,
know,
it's not necessarily out the window. Like, that's they haven't messed with a rule within the game yet.
playoff hockey, she's 5-on-5 till someone collapses or someone scores. That's
No, they got to change up.
They don't
You
got
know,
it.
4-on-4.
You know, the only thing that I'm gonna say that I probably don't agree with, as far as Wilson's explanation is the comparison to the NFL playoffs. That whole system is already decided. This like everybody knows what you're getting. This was decided on the fly, obviously because of the pandemic. This was after the fact. Everybody knows that you're going to get 8 and 8 teams in the playoffs in the NFL. I mean, there's been situations where there's been 7 and 9 teams that get in. So that's the situation where it is what it is. This in my mind was different, but I mean,
Boomer, it is. I'm just saying it's not a travesty. Like it's where it's like, oh my God, we got this terrible team. Like, who's 500? Is it? It's the Canadians. They're 500, right?
yep.
And the sad part is, and Pratt said this from the beginning, the Sabres have 2 games in hand and are like a point behind or something like that. Like, it's just, that's the real just kind of unfair side of this whole thing. The rest of it is pretty cut and dry.
I get the
Yeah,
thing is, guys, and just to close it out, I guess the thing is, what choice do we have? I want to watch some hockey. I want to watch anything. Give me something.
You know what makes me laugh though, actually, Wallace, is the Blackhawks in the playoffs are kind of scary.
That
You
team
know,
is going to be dangerous. That team was
yeah, they're
clicking.
kind of scary, right?
Oh, if I'm Edmonton, that is just, you did not want that at all. Like, you didn't. Calgary got a really bad, but that Calgary Winnipeg series, that's going to be a good one
It's gonna
too.
be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
We're
I feel
gonna
like
give our
Dustin are going to
predictions,
a
then.
game if they'll let fans.
Oh, absolutely. We will be, like, when things get a little more closer to being ironed out and we know exactly what's happening, we will have a prediction show, obviously. That being said, like, when things start picking up, we've got a lot of things to discuss, and we're just kind of waiting to see how things pan out. So,
Well, this was really, I was saying to Pratt, I felt anyway, the first light at the end of the tunnel moment where it's like sports are actually coming back. You got golf and some of these other guys that are truly returning, but out of the 4 majors, this just seemed the most real that we've had yet in any of
when
them.
I was talking before the show, I said I wanted to say, Gary Bettman, way to go. You were the first one to get things on the go, to get everybody on the same page. I refuse. We will not give it any airtime this week. We might touch on it next week. Baseball and the baseball players, I just cannot handle it right now. We're not even going to discuss it until we get a few more things. Hopefully by next week, we've got some better outlook on that one, but I just don't see it. So we'll leave it at that. We're going to move on real quickly. We want to touch on the match this last weekend. I know some bets were made. Me and Boomer ended up having to pay out a little bit. Tom Brady, you're a great quarterback. You suck at golf, man.
He stole the show, though.
Very entertaining. You know who else was and you know what the sad part is? I'm sorry, I got to carve him up. TSN, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Really? We've been waiting months for something, and I got to go and try and fish down HLN on my dish.
So what happened?
HLN?
What happened? Like, why did that take place?
I still have not found out whether it was just strictly given to that company for the rights, but in the States, other channels had it. TSN, what are you doing? You had one job here.
Were through the roof.
Yeah, you had one job here, and it was to get that for Canadian content for us, and you screwed the pooch.
The worst part about it is like I get a text like mid Sunday afternoon, and Dad's like, Dad goes to me, he goes, "So who's televising this thing?" And I'm like, well, it's on, channel 357. It's on SaskTel Max or whatever. And he's like, well, I don't even know if we get that channel. And I said, no, you probably do. I mean, it is what it is. He finds it. But Dad, being in classic Ken Freeze fashion, he says to me, he goes, how does TSN not pick this up? How does Sportsnet not pick this up? How do you let another network just have this? Like, wow. Ooh.
Well, who knows the backstory to it? It's shitty for me.
I don't know if there is. TNT carries so many NBA games that are always on TSN, which I don't understand. TNT carried this. I watched it on channel 47 in low definition.
How did you get that, Pratt? Like, why do you have regular
That's
cable?
the scary thing. Anybody that had
That's why I
basic
get both.
cable, like literally basic cable, got that event. Me with a satellite dish, I had to call Bell, and actually they were going to charge me $5 just to have that channel for 1 month. And I'm like, I'll never watch this channel again, and I don't care this much about it. I'll watch it on Twitter on the live feed, right? Like I don't.
You know what? You know what Dad told me when he called me? He said, like, TSN is playing the 2017 PGA Championship or like something. They were playing some past tournament, but why? Why are you playing that when you could?
They were playing the Canadian Open.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
CBS.
They're playing a past tournament that the PGA is playing. Well, why are you not picking up the match? Like
So what I did, because I didn't get it, I basically was like on the Score app, watching every update, highlight, catching all the videos. So from what I seen, and I wish I could have watched it because I was not doing anything and totally would have had it on the TV. It was awesome. I thought
it was.
Brady was awesome. Like Brady,
Not golf wise, but everything else. Yeah.
But that's almost what made it better. Is that Brady
Yeah.
had that humility and like you even heard Justin Thomas comment, he couldn't believe how nervous these guys were who are like they've been on the biggest stage, like literally, like between Manning and Brady.
Brady.
Manning was interviewed the following day, and he said it was the most nervous he's ever been, and that includes being in the Super Bowl.
He's a better golfer than I thought he was.
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
money is that Bill Brady jars it from? How far was he? 150?
153, I think.
Though.
What?
It was his third shot, though.
Still a birdie.
Who cares? He still jarred it from. Oh my God.
Hey Lane, how many 150-yard wedges have you made?
2 actually.
Did you suck them back into the hole on national television?
One was in on the fly.
Whoa. Those were 150-yard 6-irons.
No, Jeff.
No, okay.
It was 150-yard 9-iron, and the other time was 142-yard wedge. Yes.
So
let's also not forget that it was pouring rain. Like
100%.
And those were some
You know
of the
what though?
sickest
You know who I
conditions.
think made the whole thing just from watching afterwards? Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is such a beauty.
Chuck.
If anybody wants a good 20-minute laugh fest, go look up on YouTube Shaq and Chuck funny moments on TNT. I do it once a week. It is the funniest things. I think if I'm ever in a bad mood, it is the greatest things I've ever seen. Between Shaq and Chuck talking shit about each other, when Chuck talks shit about Juicy Smoothie or whatever that.
Juicy Smollett.
Yeah. I have said it for years that is the best sports broadcast in all, like, and I'm a big basketball guy, but and so it's people think I'm biased, but it is seriously so good. Like the like non-scripted side of it is classic.
Like the women of San Antonio, the women of San Antonio, Wilson. Oh my God.
Well, the hot chip by Shaq just makes me cry laughing.
Oh yeah. It's hot. Anybody got some milk? It's.
Oh, I didn't smell.
Yeah. If someone wants a good laugh, go check out the Shaq One Chip Challenge. It's great. Yeah.
What I thought was actually pretty underrated there about the match was just the banter between Tiger and Phil. It kind of got overshadowed, but there was a couple situations there where it was pretty funny. Like when they were going back and forth about the U.S. Open medals, that was pretty good. I was laughing pretty hard.
You know,
I like Phil's awesome.
You can't hate
flipped
Phil.
the switch a few years ago, I think, and like I'm with you.
Yeah. I
I
used to
think
hate him, but he's a good time. I would love.
You know what? There's a lot of people that didn't like Phil. And I was one of them. Probably 10 years ago, I wasn't a huge Phil fan. He made ground on a few different things. His Faraday appearances really did it for me.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you watch him and you actually listen to him, even he did it actually in a chip during the match. He said, like, this is what I'm going to try and do. You can see up there that I've got the grass and it looks dark. That means that the grain is laying towards me. I'm going to land it right in there. It's going to kill the ball, and I'm going to be able to stop the ball a little bit quicker once it gets to the green. When he hit that shot, he hit it identically like he was describing. I think he left it, I'm going to say 7 inches away from the hole. And he wasn't even like satisfied with the shot. I think he's one of the more intelligent players that's on the tour. And he's old. Like, he's not that young anymore, you know. I have a lot more respect for Phil than I ever did when I was younger, for sure.
Another guy I really what's that?
Activate the calves on the long drive.
Oh god, yeah.
The only guy that's got bigger calves than him is me on the golf course. So
another guy I wanted to, JT Justin Thomas did a really good job.
yeah, he did well.
It was very well put together. You got to see a side of these guys that normally wouldn't see. Brady splitting his pants. Oh, wow. Why are you wearing clothes that tight, Tom? Like, did Giselle dress you before you left the house?
Hey, ask Jeff as he leans in closer and flexes his biceps there on his table.
Why are you wearing clothes
ready to
rip?
Yeah.
That shirt is ready to just come flying off. Hey, so that's probably where we're going to go for this week. We wanted to give a few shout outs. Somebody at Woodlawn have a hole in one this week?
Yeah, actually, local hockey star Braden Pahal, I heard, aced hole 14, the same hole that Dad aced a couple of years ago, and it sounds like that hole's pretty popular for hole in ones. And here I am sitting here. I'm 30. I'm gonna say I'm realistically 32 years in playing the game, and I've never even sniffed a hole in one. So good for you, buddy.
Yeah,
that's
right
awesome.
Also wanted to say Bob Curry, man to mention, crew down there, played last week. The course is in really great shape, especially just not having the time frame they normally would have to get everything ready down there. I know Amanda's putting in a lot of hours outside of pro duties. And it's all to benefit us, and we really appreciate what she's doing. It's for where it's at right now. Can't complain. It's been excellent. Bob Curry, great job.
You know what, Lane? The other side of it too is it's crazy and it's nice because it's a lot quicker. Like, with the tee times being spread out and everyone kind of
didn't have to wait,
walking to their own ball and hitting onto the green. Don't have to pull the pin. All this compounded together, these rounds are like flying by. Like, and I mean, that can be a good thing and a bad thing, but it is nice to just go get on the course and play some golf and kind of get, like, it's way easier to almost squeeze around in here and there. And as much as these kind of new COVID rules don't rub you the right way initially, there's some silver lining there just because it's speeding things up. And it's nice. Like, I kind of enjoy it that way.
What course is that?
The S&M Woodlawn Golf and Country Club.
Jeff, TS&M Woodlawn Golf Course.
Free ads, boys. Free ads. Okay.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I thought I don't know what I said, but anyway.
Also wanted to give a shout out for the local content. Jeff Pearson, Pete Saragella, the Jeff and Pete Roadshow. If you guys want to give that a watch, also great content, great local stuff. We really appreciate everything they're doing. A couple things going forward. We will be doing some trivia contests, some prizes possibly being given away. Maybe a round of golf at Woodlawn, 18 holes, maybe some pizzas, maybe some autographed gear, courtesy of myself. Not my autograph, but maybe Wilson's or Pratt's. Maybe Pratt can sign that shirt and donate it. I'm sure he could get a dime for that.
Probably get more if it was bigger.
Want to get interaction with the people watching, whether that's on Twitter. We created our own Twitter account at Cheap Seats 306. We're on Facebook, the Cheap Seats, easy to find. We really want interaction. We want to see what you guys want us to discuss or debate, what you want from us. And like I said to begin the show, if we suck, tell us, because we can do worse. Trust me, we will make it happen. Other than that, we really appreciate everybody tuning in again. We will see you again next week. Oh, Jeffrey.
Barry Bonds has been getting on the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think the people want to see Barry's side of the story. So down the road here, we're gonna have Barry's side of the story.
I will give you a 5-minute platform next episode to say whatever you want about Barry, but I also get a 5-minute rebuttal.
We'll give Jeff 10 and we'll give us whatever we want.
You go first, Shane. You go first.
Oh, no. We'll debate. We'll get something figured out between now and then. Anyway, guys, it's been great again this week. We really appreciate you watching. Hit us up, comment, give us anything. We love it. Give it a share. We'll talk to you again next week, guys. Thanks again.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.